Jump Off Fancast with
Yo, you guys are barely strong. Hit you out the park like Barry Bonds. It was very wrong that you bought one plane ticket and used him as your carry-on.
And Reed Richards is Mr. Fantastic, but this ain't the Fantastic Four, son. I was having more fun with your heart in the Fantastic Four, son. Hey, yo, I am the Predator. I turn invisible, and you know that someone was there. But at least now you know the reason why your girl starts dry humping the air. Fuck you. This past holiday, he ate a stick of butter and was drinking blubber. And yeah, he ate some turkey, the country, for Thanksgiving supper.
Regarding how I got involved with music and being an MC was just, of course, I was always passionate with hip-hop and listening to hip-hop music, hip-hop culture, being knowledgeable about artists and different things, the different elements, you know what I'm saying? Just an avid hip-hop fan. Mm-hmm. And I guess I did all the elements, you know, from b-boy to DJ and all that. So at one point, it was like, let me try writing, you know, so it was like a transformation from, you know, what started off as poetry and spoken word into hip-hop, into actual rhyming. But one of the things that most influenced to what extent I would take being an MC was a clique that I became real close with in high school, my freshman and sophomore year, and they really introduced me to a whole new side of music in regards to hip-hop and hip-hop artists that I hadn't known of. You know, of course, I was always in middle school into Wu-Tang, you know, some of the New York stuff, you know, Mobb Deep, you know, Outkast, some of the West Coast stuff, but it was like when I met these cats, one kid that, you know, shout outs to Decent Verbs, you know, So What Family, straight up, just he's the one that introduced me to like Common, to the Roots, to DITC, you know, all that. And I was always, and I am a positive individual. So when I learned, you know, at that point, I was ignorant. Everyone's ignorant. I was ignorant to the fact that this music was out there and existed. And then when I learned that this is some positive music, some real conscious, you know, movement going on, I'm like, damn, you know, this totally matches the person I am. And I'm such a, you know, hip-hop fan, and I'm so passionate about the music and the culture, and I'm just starting right now to express myself as a poet. With learning this, I'm like, boom, I put the two together. And that's how I started, you know, rhyming, and I looked up to these cats and took a lot of pointers from them. They were more experienced. They were older than myself. I learned a lot from them. You know, all these cats from the So What family and stuff. So basically, it helped mold me into the MC that I am now. And again, like I said, it started off as just learning that there was that positive music out there, that this was an outlet for that. I always like to consider myself, you know, as an expressionist, kind of, you know, and just the same way that I look up to the artists that I listen to, and they're such a big influence on me, I like to put my voice out to, you know, hopefully be an influence on others. And not necessarily an influence to actually make people go out and do stuff or be an activist, which sometimes I am, you know, with some political songs or just some empowering songs or some knowledgeable songs to educate people. That's not entirely what I'm all about. I'm really more about being an expressionist, because other people out there, if you just say what you feel, there's so many, you know, it's bound that other people feel the same way as you. So you just, you know, sometimes you just say it in a way and people are like, damn, you know, that's exactly how I feel. And that, you know, that's nourishing to a person to hear that. So the same way that I was influenced and the same way that it affected me, I hope to one day be able to affect others that way. And that's, you know, one of my ambitions when it comes to being an MC. So to move into how the whole battling started, you know, I never wanted to get the stigma of being like a battle MC, and I don't want to consider myself as a strictly battle MC. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to push out music in the last year or so the way I've wanted to, but that's neither here nor there. But as I was young, as I said, I was real naive, learning how to get more involved with the whole MCing aspect of things, and I thought it was like mandatory. I thought it was like a requirement. You know what I mean? I thought that like if you MC and you wrote, you had to freestyle, like you had to battle just to like pay your dues and get your stripes. You know, I went from listening to ciphers to joining in ciphers.
Yeah.
You know, and then from being in the ciphers, you know, I just push myself, throw myself out there. From being in the ciphers to getting into battles.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, I was young, 15 years old in high school, and you know, I didn't really know what battling was all about. You just call somebody out. I would get eat up left and right because, you know, I was like the younger dude. I'm talking about like in ciphers in school. And then it kind of just really took off. Like it was like an exponential kind of growth when I went from ciphering and like little mini battles in high school to an actual event. My first battle, I choked, got booed off, whatever. That actually built the hunger in me to be like, yo, cats now, like, you know, my name is Parable, yo, cats will associate that with that little dude that choked. That same event, it was a real big event in Miami, Who Can Roast the Most. Shout outs to Ground Zero crew, they throw that. So first time I went to Who Can Roast the Most, I think it was Who Can Roast the Most 2, choked up. I actually lost to Recognize. So I got hungry, and then I saw a footage of the Blaze battle that had just come around, like it got aired on HBO like around October or December of that year. And I was like, oh, I see what this is about, seeing all the different styles, like 16 MCs, all with different styles. Of course, I looked up to Idea, because it's like, I can do what he does. You know what I'm saying? Not discrediting what he does. He was very talented and was good at it. That's why he won so many competitions. That's why he dominated the circuit for like 2 years. So I was like, all right, no doubt. Like, you know, I do that already. You clown with people. You clown on people. So put your own twist, put your own style into that. So I took that with a style that I had already created with myself. And like when I came to that next battle, I just, like, cats were like, wow, like they didn't even know that I was that kid that choked, because it was such a difference. And it was like another thing that kind of put me on it so hard was that I battled Who Can Roast the Most 3. I battled all the top dogs in Miami. I had like the hardest brackets. The first round was just another, like, you know, fairly known cat like myself or whatever. So I went through that, but then I battled Logix. He had won like 2 or 3 battles at the time. I battled Serum, which was like the previous year's runner-up, and he would like run the circuit. And then I ended up going toe to toe with Jin. And that battle went into extra rounds, and Jin was making a name for himself nationally, up and down the East Coast. He was like 19 or 20, I think 19, and I'm a 15-year-old cat, and in Miami you didn't really see that. It was the older cats, the 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, really like getting the shine on. Here's this 15-year-old cat, raspy voice, not even gone through puberty yet, you know, and like I smashed, and that put me on. So it was like, oh, that's the cat to look out for. And then it even jumped further when that one battle, that footage from that battle, somehow, oh, I know how it made it to Scribble Jam.